Hi, and welcome back. This one is Module 3, Get Down and Feel the Beat. You know, stress really is just another word for accent. And when you learn where to put the stress on the word or what syllable in a phrase, all of a sudden your accent starts falling into the patterns, the sound patterns that we are used to, we being the native speakers of English. So you'll see a little note here on the front page of this module. English is a beat-driven language. That means that when one syllable or sound takes a stress, the other sounds around it will automatically be rather subservient to that stress sound, and they will take a lower level of stress. And there are 3 levels of stress, also known as the 3 notes. That's primary stress, secondary stress, and unstressed sounds. Remember, I told you get to be really familiar with your good old friend schwa, because schwa is an unstressed sound and is very, very important to the English language. Now, let's take a look this time at vowel stress rules. Now, you know, it's very rare in English that we can say these are rules that you can take to the bank. Because in English, you no sooner learn a rule and then boom, there are about 5 examples of breaking the rule. But for the most part, the rules that I have picked for this module are ones that you can pretty much bank on as being standard and not too moody. They don't change. Let's look at the first 2 together, okay? Because you sort of can't teach one without the other. Now, they sound much more difficult than they are. The first one, the 2 vowel rule for alphabet vowel sounds. Now, alphabet vowel sounds, I also call those the vowels that call their own name, A, E, I, O, and U. Now, how do you know when do you pronounce the vowel names or their relatives? Well, let's take a look at the first one. I've given you the example of the word cape, C-A-P-E. Now, I keep telling you that all of the letters in English words are not pronounced. And here's a perfect example. Because the E at the end of cape is not pronounced. We don't say cape or capey. It's a symbol. It serves a function. It's silent E, and it is there to tell you that the vowel that precedes it, there'll be a consonant between the final E. Going backwards, there'll be a consonant, then there will be a vowel. And that vowel that precedes that silent E will always sound its own name, cape. As long as that E is on the end of cape, we know that we pronounce that letter A by its vowel name, A. It's long, it glides off. You know this, of course, because you've already mastered that last module on vowels. I sure hope so. Now, let's look at the next rule. Because if we take off the E on cape, what word do we have? Cap. Now the letter named A has gone to its relative sound A. So that's the second rule, the 1 vowel rule for relative vowel sounds. If it doesn't end on E, then that vowel before that at the end of the word will be a relative sound. So cape goes to cap. Let's take a look quickly at some other words that aren't on your script, but I want to imprint these in your memory. I don't really like the word hate, but it proves my point. Hate, drop the E, you have hat. Here's a better word, hope, H-O-P-E, hope. That E tells you that the O is sounded as an O. We drop the E, and what do we have? We have the word hop, you see? So there are many ways, many times that this comes up. So you can take that rule to the bank. If a word like organize, it ends in I-Z-E. I'm calling it Z because it's Z everywhere in the English-speaking world except the United States where it's called Z. So I will be calling it Z for the most part. But when you see a word that ends in I-Z-E, you know that that I is going to sound its own name. It will not go to a relative I. It will be I's. Those are 2 very important, very simple rules and very important, and they occur over and over and over again in your English accent class. Now, Let's just quickly, because I know everybody needs help understanding those relative vowel sounds. So I've got them there. Repeat them after me. Really notice how they sound different from their counterparts, the long ones, which I'm going to mention afterwards. You're going to be repeating these after me. I want you to notice difference in length of the vowels. Some are a little bit longer, some are really short. Schwa, you know, is really short. Some are in between. Pa. Never as long as A. Never. The relatives are never as long. They're never as big as their parents. Okay, so repeat after me. And remember to have your mirror handy and to be using it and to make sure that you look like me. That you're moving your face like me is what I mean, of course. And that you sound like me, meaning the length. The musicality, imitate me. Okay, let's do the sounds under what I call the good old American A, as in apple pie. And that's the A and the E kind of smushed together. And that fact that the A and the E are kind of smushed together gives you a little clue that that's a little bit longer than, say, a schwa. Not as long as an A, but not as short as a. Okay, so repeat after me, please. Pan, bat, apple. Hear that beautiful ah. Now let's compare it to A as in pain. Pain. Pan. Pain. Pan. Pain. Hear the difference. The A is so much more dramatic. It's demanding full stress. Okay, let's look at the backwards 3. That's the E as in head or 10. Repeat after me. E, E. Very relaxed. Tip of the tongue touching behind the bottom teeth. And then repeat, please. 10. Friend. Head. And let's compare 10 to teen. See how teen is louder? It's a little higher, and it certainly is longer. And it glides off that step a little off that top note because it's a long vowel. And long vowels are called off glides, you remember from the last module. So 10, teen. Friend, fiend. It's a big difference. And remember, that's how your listener, your audience, differentiates the sounds, is through the length and also through the movement of your mouth. Now let's go to the I. Now, I is second shortest. Schwa is the shortest, and I is the second shortest. And I is a relative of I, but you see here, I can also be a relative of O, because if you look at the third word there, the plural of woman is women. And that's that I sound, the same as in I, it. So repeat after me. Bit. Short. Bit. Doesn't glide, stays right up there on one note or one step, we could say. Bit. Skip. Women. Now let's compare bit, short and sweet, to beat. Beat. Loud, strong, tense, as opposed to very short bit. A little bit. A little bit. There's a little bit. Got it twice there. Okay, very good. Now, let's look at this sound ah, as in when you go to the doctor, ah, hop, stop, father. Now let's compare hop to hope. Hop, hope, stop, slope. You can see as soon as I go into that long O sound, I round my lips. You can see the tension, and I direct the sound out that way, and it's longer. All vowels that sound their names, the A, E, I, O, and U, are all longer vowels than the relatives. Keep that in your memory. Now let's go to our good old friend schwa. The most relaxed sound. You'll notice in the first word, but. In standard North American English, but. The goes to schwa, but. Remember I told you all vowels can be reduced to schwa. Schwa is your buddy. You've got to know schwa. And when we get to the stress, you're going to know even more importantly why schwa is your buddy and why you've got to be able to get down to that bottom note so that you can get back up, because we keep going up in English. That's what we do. Okay, the, the. If you forget how schwa sounds, say the. And just to prove my point how short schwa is, a go. Bum, bum, a go. See, that's why you have to know schwa, because schwa provides the bottom note. A go. It provides the shortest note, against which you can contrast the stress. It's a beat-driven language. So if you've got a schwa, a go, schwa will be short and low, and it's going to be followed by a sound that is higher and longer. And that is what we mean when the music, the beat-driven. It's lengths, it's high note versus low note. I hope you're beginning to understand. And as we go through this unit, you will. Now let's compare but with butte. Look at my mouth. But, butte. See, butte requires muscles. But doesn't really require much. I mean, the but and the t, but not the vowel sound. Doesn't require much. But ooh requires I get involved in that one. I got to move my face. I got to move my tongue. But it's just. Let's compare the and the. And it's not just the as in T-H-E-E. It's also the apple. The pear, the apple. So they're different stress levels. And they're also, listen, the is low. The pear. The apple. When it's stressed, it starts high on the high note. The apple. But when it's not being stressed, isn't the pear, then it's on the low. It's like down there like a schwa. It's down because you need those bottom note sounds to get you back up. If you're always up here, then you go to intone, you're going to be way up here, and you're going to be screaming, and you're going to be annoying your audience. You've got to learn the bottom note so that you can get up to those top notes. Okay, now here's the part where we really have some fun, and this is why, again, you have to know schwa. Let's look at, under the heading, stressed vowel sounds. I give you that wonderful word that you all know how to say, banana. Banana. That's how we really say it, banana. Now, there are 3 syllables, so we've got 3 notes here. We've got the middle syllable, they're all B-A, N-A, N-A. Now, the middle N-A is the top note. It's the loudest. It takes the stress. Banana. Banana. Great. Say that, please. Banana. I'll have a banana. Very good. Now, let's go look at that first BA. All vowels get reduced to schwa, and you got to have schwa because schwa provides the beat. Now listen, banana. Can hardly hear it, but boy, if I don't have it in there, we have nana. And nana is what babies say. And nana is also an affectionate term for a grandmother. But if you're talking about the fruit banana, you've got to have that beat. Banana, banana. Now let's look at the last syllable. Again, N-A. Now you can say banana, which would be N-A, A as in shot, father. Or you could say banana schwa. I think I probably say banana, the last syllable being quite schwa. But it's not on the lowest step. So watch my hand if you can see. Banana. Bum, bum, bum. There's the rhythm. There's the stress. Bum, bum, bum. I'll have a bum, bum, bum. I'll have a banana. Say that, please. I'll have a bum, bum, bum. Banana. I'll have a banana. There are your 3 notes. I'll have a banana. Sounds so boring. That's called monotonous. I'll have a banana. And if you're not careful, if you keep everything on the same note, after a while, everyone thinks that you don't speak well or you are yelling at them. You've got to go up and down. Banana. You've got to know these relative vowel sounds so that you can really get that music into the language. Okay. Now, one of my favorite words also to teach is organize. Now with banana, we start low, we go high, and we end medium. But with organize, we have a slightly different pattern. We start high, or. Now we go down to the bottom, schwa, g. And then we go up to the middle, nice. We go up to the middle because it ends in I-Z-E. And so we've got to say that I, we know because the E is there to tell us that that I has to be sounded. Therefore, that sound can't be low because it's going to sound its name. So we know organize. So that's the word, organize. See what happens with that A, the second syllable, the A goes to schwa, organize. Repeat that, please. Organize. And there are the three notes. So I want you to practice as you, after you're, when I'm gone and you're going over the script, I want you to practice. If you're not certain, just come right back to this video. That's why we're making it. Now let's have some fun with word stress patterns, okay? You know, every word in English has a stress pattern, and if you put the stress in the wrong place, you can get yourself in trouble. Now listen to the stress in the word, and again, there's three notes here. President, president, prime minister. Now, prime minister, we start low. Prime minister. Repeat those. President, prime minister. Now the next one. If I said to you, I live in the White House, you would say, well, I wonder when she married the President of the United States, because he lives in the White House. You would think, no, she must mean I live in the White House, because I have not married the President of the United States, nor do I intend to. So he lives in the, or maybe she, if there is a woman president coming up, she will live in the White House, but you and I will live in the White House. If I put the stress in the wrong place, I'm actually living in the wrong place. Here's another example. Plants grow in a greenhouse, but my Uncle Joe lives in a greenhouse. Different stress patterns change the way in which the words are sounded, okay, and can mean. Now, there'll be more on this later as we go. Let's go to the stress. This is typical pattern for two-syllable nouns especially. Most two-syllable words, most of them, not verbs. Verbs are exception to this. Most two-syllable words start high, go low. There aren't three notes, obviously. There are only two syllables. So you're going to go high, low. Lemon, lemon. Look at the O in lemon at the end. It's schwa. What does that mean? It means it goes to the lowest place, the lowest note. Lemon. Repeat that, please. Lemon. Very nice. Blanket. Repeat that. Blanket. Good job. Speaker. Bum, bum. Speaker. Not speaker, because that would be speaker like you're yelling at me. There's no music now. Bum, bum. That's the music. Student. Bum, bum. Student. Good. Jacket. Jacket. Notice how we've got schwas in there. I haven't put schwa in all of them, just every once in a while to remind you. Sister. Pancake. Pancake. Now notice, lemon is much shorter than pancake. It takes a while to say cake because you've got to say that long A. Even though it's not taking the stress, it's not pancake, it's pancake. Purple. Purple. I just can't stress enough how important it is to practice this up and down, the up and down patterns that you're hearing. Now, here are some rules. Sure as shooting. These are always in place. Words that end in shun, whether it be T-I-O-N or S-I-O-N, it will always be the syllable before the shun ending. That will take the stress. Nation. Organization. Now look at, now this time we don't start organization. No, because now the stress has moved. Organization. So now the or starts lower from organize. That's different than organization. See how we vary the stress to make sure that we can keep the music going all the time. Foundation. Communication. musician. Now again, words that end in IC or ICAL, the stress comes on the syllable before the ending. There's a pattern here I'm sure you're noticing. Comical, bum bum bum, comical, mystical, philosophical. Go ahead and make more words that follow this pattern. And if you're not certain, go to dictionary.com and click on that little speaker, and they will tell you exactly how to say the word the same way that I'm saying it. Now, most often when two vowels are put together in English, like AI in pain, it's pronounced as an A. But you know, because it's English and we just really like to have these harsh rules, sometimes you have to pronounce those two vowels. It's not that often. You probably know this in what we call passive knowledge. This is knowledge that you know, but you don't know you know. Because I know all of you would say biology. But you may not be aware that all of a sudden the rules have changed, and now for some reason we're saying both of those vowels. Biology. And there's the music. Bum, ba, da, da. That's a four-syllable word. Bum, ba, da, da. In four-syllable words, you should hear four nice beats. Now let's look at piano. Bum, bum, bum. Piano. Join the I, the E, and the A together with a Y. Piano. It's like there's a Y in between. Piano. Reaction. We join them again by that little glider Y. Reaction. Association. Do you hear what I mean when I say add that little Y? I'm not saying reaction. No, I'm saying reaction. We join with a Y. This is how we glide. So practice those words. And now there are a number of words that I want you. This is a very common pattern, and you're going to see it in your homework. There are, we've got words that are nouns, and because we could say them in a noun way, meaning we would put the stress on the first syllable, but that same word could be turned into a verb. And how do we differentiate? Well, we put the stress on the second syllable. For example, noun, contract, compared to the verb, contract. So, first of all, bum, bum, contract versus contract. But now look at what happens to the O in CON. Contract. Contract. It's gone to schwa in the verb. Contract. You have to say it. It's a beat. It's the bottom note. You have to have it there. Otherwise, you'd say tract. That's another word altogether. Export. Export. Produce. Produce. I want you, in the homework section, there's a whole bunch of them. And what I want you to do is I want you to put them in sentences. It's called contextualizing. And use these, make sentences up for yourself. It's one thing just to say the words after you repeat them after me, but you must start to put them in sentences so that you can put them in context, so that they will have meaning. And then you will be able to strike a more natural rhythm or pattern. Okay, now compound nouns. That's two nouns that are put together. The stress always goes on the first noun. And when we're going to compare that to compound verbs, you should know by now that verbs like to take the stress the second or last syllable. So nouns like the stress on the first syllable, and verbs like the stress on the second or last syllable. So houseboat, bum bum. Da-da. See, we go down a note. We also go down a staircase. You'll learn that in the intonation part of the program. Bum, bum, houseboat. Keyboard. Post office. Disk drive. Basketball. As opposed to outrun. Overdue. Outperform. Overlook. Outshine. Okay, now, speaking of outshine, I really want you to have your vowels and your stress rhythm rules on your vowels and some of these words and some of the rules that you've taken in this module. Take a week if necessary to get all these sounds right, because we're going into the consonants. And now the consonants are going to help these vowels really come to life. But if you don't know the difference in the length in vowels, and if you're not yet hearing those 3 notes, review this video over and over again until you get it, okay? And I just can't say enough. Please don't go ahead too quickly. It won't serve you. Your success will come in taking your time to master them. Okay, get to work, and I will see you soon on Module 4. Feel the vibe or not. Consonant sounds. Get to work. See you soon. Bye now.